So, hi everybody, welcome back for Unreal Engine 5 tutorial series for beginners. Video number, I think, 9? Or? Yes, this is video 9, I think. And we continue with our overview. We stopped here, what you can see on my screen. And we created a map. And we talked a little bit about this map, but there is one more important thing to do before we continue to create other files than this map. What is that? So, first of all, let's switch to our map. How we can switch to our map? We can find our map. We go to our file, we go to maps, double click on it, and we are on our created map. Then the next thing is what we can do, or what we have to do for convenience is, and I showed you that, I think I don't showed you that right now. Oh, anyway, let's do this first and then I show you a very important part of this engine too. So what we are going to do is we go on top on file, then we go down where it says not this one, they changed the place. They have it, put it here. Okay, sorry. You go to edit and then you go down to project settings. Then we open this up. Okay, and then you can dock this thing for better use, or what I do it all time. I click on it and drag and drop it here on top, and it will dock on the top. And now you can switch here with the mouse easy and have a very good big screen to work on. So that said, we have the project settings. I have to talk about this one, but let's set our map first and then talk about this one. There are very important settings and there are not so important settings. It looks very wild, but most of them you don't need, so don't worry about that. But there are sub settings which you will need a lot. Okay, let's get started. First of all, one important setting is exactly where we go, and that is here on projects. We go down to maps and mods, and this is our first important setting. This setting here where it goes, we go down where it says default maps, and here we set the starting map. So the map which the engine use at start, and you can see here the starting map is the third person map. So when I open up this project, it will jump to the third person map. I don't want that. I want now my map which I created. So in my case, I called it map level 1, and I changed this one to this one and edit what is that, template map overrides, I don't know, and game default map, I changed this one as well to map level 1. So why is this a convenience? Because because you can see this is the starting map. So when I start a project, it's very convenient. It jumps right to the map where I want instead of searching this map. But there is one more very important thing about this map setting here. If you have finished a project, then you have set a starting level, a starting map, and this map will be start on the new on the device. For example, you finished your project, you sold it, and the customer opens your game, and the customer will then jump exactly to the map which you have specified here. And that's why this setting is one of the most important settings. For example, instead of map level 1, you would call it perhaps map main menu. Would make more sense. I called it just level 1 because that was not a good name actually. That was not really good. But we are not going to make a real game right now. It's just a demonstration. But in general, you would call it rather map main menu, for example, because most time a new game starts with the main menu map. Okay, that said, let's continue with the project settings here a little bit. And very important note, don't worry, here are not so many. This, when you look the left side here, there is so many things. Actually, you don't need almost 1% of this and all other things you don't need, or you need it only then when you come to a certain point, and then you read it anyway. So like I said, the only thing what you really need at start was this map setting actually. Then the next thing here, one more thing, let's go to this one, is default game mode. That's probably very important too. Right now you don't know what a default game mode is, but no worry, it is it is just I think I mentioned it. It is the starting point. It is the, let's say, a folder from where this game will start and rule all other folders, right? You set all your rules there, and then from this point it will call all other things what you need. So that's but in our case right now we can keep it with third-person game mode because we have not created a game mode right now. Then when I open this up, and I talked about this already. Let me show you this one. When we go here to world settings, which I have, and then here on game mode, in third person game mode there was a game mode here because we created here a new level. We have set this new, and I set this, let's set it back to the same before, BP third person game mode. And when we compare this one, this is the default one which was preset. Then you can see I talked about this one here down. It was the default pawn, HUD class, player class, and you can see this in the project settings as well. This is the same thing here, and so I think it's clear, but let me say it fast again. Very important thing is when you set the game mode, which I said contains the most important files, and organize it from the start point here. The default pawn class, yes. The HUD class not so much used because there is another way to use that. And then player controller class, game stat not so used much, and player stat class, and these are not so. Also in our case at the start, at least at the beginning, we will use much this default pawn class because we are setting this one, and player controller class later, yes, but at the start we don't use that because we put all here, or we put all in this folder, in the game mode folder. So mostly this two, you can concentrate at start mostly on these two classes here, and later the other classes will become very important too. For example, the player controller will become very important, and so on. So that's it for that. And when we watch now here the project, all these things here down, you can almost forget all at start. Why so? Because they are not very used. Later there is something what I can tell you, it's very often used or what you have to use, but this will be a very separate video, or you have to watch this on YouTube or on the documentation. It's the packaging, of course. If you finished your game, you need to package the game, and then I click on packaging, and then there are things you have to know. It's not a big deal, and so here are many things, but there you follow just the documentation or YouTube, and then you package your game according to this one, and that's it. So at the start here only maps and mods is important, packaging later, supported platforms. Yes, this one you just select later for packaging. So this one is connected here a little bit. And let me see. Perhaps gameplay tags. Yes, the text has a special place, but I didn't know that. But I thought it was another place. Anyway, so okay, just remember maps and mods, packaging later, and this one supported platforms is just a checkbox, a little bit not big. So let's go to game. Asset manager, no need, don't worry, forget it. Asset tools. Let's start, no need. Perfect. We go to engine. What we need here, actually, there are many things here. There are many things, but the most things you are not doing here in the engine. You are doing them with blueprints. For example, audio. This one is very important when you later set the audio, perhaps, and won't set here. I never used that, or perhaps I used that one time to set the audio and then never watched it. The same goes for I never used animations here. So this kind of things, what you see here, you set them most time one time. Console, how to open up your console collision. But let's go to the only important thing. So the only real important thing at start and is probably input. This one is important, and all other things will be important when you need it. For example, the second thing is probably collision audio setting for things, and the other things, yeah, just not so. Only when you need it, but almost there is not so much. But input is important. Why is input at start important? The reason is very simple. Input settings, for example, our character has already input settings, and they are here already defined. And let me see where they are. And here we go to the bindings, we open this one, and we open this one, and you can see here already predefined key bindings, mouse bindings, controller bindings. And this is the thing what you have to do for the character, right? They are already bound, and perhaps you want to change it, or you want or you create your own character, import it here, and then you have set these bindings yourself. And that's the only reason why this is important. It's not very difficult, very easy, very straightforward, but that's why I said only the input section is here important, because you just need set the access to use it. Or for example, for mobile, then you have here set this one. And so yeah, so don't worry about this one. So we have the input settings, and to be honest, then I have almost used nothing. Only perhaps this collision audio input and other things I used in another way, perhaps, or keep the default settings. But I have never made a finished game, so don't count me as a very good experienced user. So probably will use that many times and change here a lot. So let's go to the editor. What we can change here, actually as a starter we can just forget all. I made nothing here. That's cool. When we can forget at start all, that's nice. And on platforms, yes, the platforms here, it's important later when you package. I said here on top, right? When you finish your game, you are going to packaging, and then you have set here probably for, let's say you make mobile game, then you have set as well Android, for example, or iOS. So this one you have set this too, because these are platform specific settings. Only then important, then it's very important. Or here on Windows, something here. Okay, these are important with packaging, definitively, but yeah. And plugins are important when you use plugins. For example, we have now this new Unreal Engine 5 plugin, the Erdkreis here. I don't know. I will not change anything at start and so on. But if you have any plugins, I have never used that at all. But these things, what you see here now, are early important when the point comes. In general, what I want to show you is you just need this at start. Let's click them all so that let's count this. 1, 2, very important at start. Perhaps 3, 4, and 5, and here perhaps 2, 6, 6, and almost all other things, and then perhaps 2 more things, and that's it. So let's say 8 things are very important from here at start perhaps, and all other things only important when you come to this point or use it. Perhaps you use many things here, not so many things are not even important for you. That's sad. So one more thing before I close it. You see we have changed here the settings, right? In MapleMods we set our own settings, but here is no save file, right? So you ask, hey, how the hell I'm going to save that? And this is a very specific thing in Unreal Engine, was in Unreal Engine 4 too. This one will be saved when you close this page automatically, right? So you are going to close this one and this is automatically saved. At least I know it, so I don't know Unreal Engine 5. We can check this. The other things, all other things you have to save separately. For example, here on top we see a star or asterisk or whatever here on the side, and when you see a symbol like that, you know this one is not saved. Then you can go save all. Then it pops up this save content like it says here, save selected, and now this star, the symbol which was here, is gone because it indicates now it's saved. So let's check this. I think I stop here, and in the next video we continue with our folder here and create some more files. We created now a map, we imported our mannequin here, but let's talk about this mannequin more, about this character a little bit more before we go on. Bye.